Hello, gentlemen and ladies. Welcome to another video where I'm going to review a book. In this video, I'm going to review a book called The Art of Being Alone by Renuka Gavrani. So, let me just uh, let me just talk about the context of the book and the author. So, the author is a social media influencer. She writes and makes content about personal growth, personal health, mental well-being, sort of, and how to, she's like a self-help, aesthetic content creator. So, anyways, let me basically talk about why you should read this book and why you shouldn't read this book and what is inside this book that I'm making this video. First of all, let me just tell you why I chose to read this book. I didn't buy this book. I was gifted this book in an event, in a TEDx event, so I decided to take a read of this book if this was worth reading. So yeah, it's a very short book. It took me a few days to finish. Let me just talk about his writing style. It has a terrible writing style. It looks like Donald Trump's tweets on X and Truth Social. It has used unjustifiably a lot of uppercase words and letters. It has also used a very informal, immature form of language about while talking about a lot of things. So one of the contests, this mainly talks about people's solitude and how to be productive during it and how to not feel pain during loneliness or being alone. It also says that loneliness and solitude or being alone are not the same, which is a very reasonable thing to say. So this book has a lot of individualistic ideals while talking about success and growth and goals and dreams. It talks about how we let other people choose to decide for us, decide to choose for whatever. But the problem is it only focuses on these areas, like as if success or material success or goals are the only things important to people's lives. The chapter 11 of this book is literally become independent. First of all, nobody can be independent. We are all dependent on other people, and becoming independent is usually, she's telling you basically to be a loner. I'm not independent. I'm dependent on a lot of people. A lot of people are dependent on me. It's called interdependence. And it also talks about making a new best bud, about a buddy or friend with your goals and aspirations. It also talks about why we should let go of people so often. We should not. It totally throws away the idea of sacrificing for other people and compromising for other people. In this regard, this book is inherently selfish, individualistic. It caves to the individualistic idea of total independence, of not needing other people, and of chasing goals, aspirations, success, money, status, or productivity, or anything. But it does not really focus on the peaceful side of people. Like, you writing your articles is not the only, is definitely not the sole way to make yourself feel good or have a productive life. Like, the the problem is this book was written by a loner, by someone who does not have any friends, who hasn't had friends in their lives, or hasn't had any partners or any meaningful relationships in their lives, thus they do not know about the relationship part of humans, about friendships. This book also quotes Taylor Swift and people like that, so I think not the best source of philosophical arguments. Let me just quote it a bit. I, anyways, I couldn't find anything meaningful in this book to quote because it's a piece of shit. It's a piece of trash in a paperback binding. I suggest you do not read this book if you want to spend quality time with the book. You will not have fun. You will be rage baited by the entirety of the concepts if you are not selfish, if you do not have the individualistic ideals. But you'll love it if you are a toxic piece of shit who believes that other people are bad, who believes that we should not make sacrifices for those we love. It's inherently narcissistic and it's self-loving level infinity. So I would suggest you do not read this book. And now let's come to why you should read this book. You should read this book if you have read a lot of other books and if you have a concrete sense of life and friendships and ideals, and if you have a concrete definition of social behavior. But you should not take the content seriously. I should read a lot of stupid books because I like to know what people read. This book is quite famous in a lot of places like India, or among demographic groups like teenage girls or the audience of TikTok and Instagram reels. Aesthetic stuff, as you all know. So yeah, this was the my honest crash out upon reading this book. I'm quite physically sick. That's why I'm just reviewing a book on my bed, which I usually don't do. But yeah, so this book also talks about building your dream life, achieving goals, fall in love with yourself. But the problem is, you're not going to live with yourself until you're 90. I think the author Renuka Gavrani might get some brains sooner or later in life, but fame always restricts intellectual growth if you're not prepared, if you do not always want intellectual growth. So yeah, you have a lot of reasons not to read it. You have one reason to read it, which is to know what other people read. And many my peers have told me not to judge a book before reading, and many people have told me that special people have told me that not to make assumptions about a book before reading it, only to take notes about other people's behaviors. All books are books. All books, most books, deserve to be read. This is probably trash, but maybe you should read it because it is trash. Sometimes you should read trash to know the value of treasures. Thanks a lot, gentlemen and ladies. I will meet you in another video of mine. This was a very long video considering I make 3 to 4 videos of 3 to 5 minutes. Anyways, adios.